Aloha kakayaka means good morning to you on this beautiful Sunday. So today I had a wonderful class and it's really about today's subject is mirror. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all? It's really something because it's a reflection of yourself. And it's kind of funny because when we look at the mirror, when we wake up in the morning, we brush our teeth, wash our face, we really don't really look at ourselves, except we got to get ready. Or when we go shopping and all of a sudden we're at Neiman Marcus and we try on some clothes and we look at the mirror there. And we go down to Ross's, put on some clothes and we look at ourselves there. And so there's all different kind of mirror that we look at, correct? And so this technique that we use is really MSR test, mirror self-recognition test. And it's done to, lots of animals to see if they can recognize ourselves, because obviously the human being can recognize itself in the mirror. But we are recognizing ourselves in multiple facets of how we look and label ourselves in the outer world. And so sometimes people really label themselves into something that are they really happy about? When we first get married, some of us change our last name or hyphen it or not even use it because it gives them a different identity. For me, once I was waiting at a doctor's office or somewhere and they were calling me and I couldn't recognize that name. I hear them say Monica Ogata and I just was making shit on cow. I was just not paying attention. And they kept on repeating it and they came out and they looked at me and they said, Monica? And I said, yes. And that's when I acknowledged yes. And, when, of course, obviously, I got to do, at that time, I hyphenated my name. And so it was Monica Shigenaga hyphen, Ogata. And then, so when that identity of myself, that mirror of myself got into these two names, it became a different me. And so then I have to put on my other cap or my other mirror of recognizing myself as that. And for me, throughout that short period of time, my body and my system just didn't jive. It had nothing to do with, it was just that energy. It had nothing. There was a lot to do with, of course, the relationship, and that's why we end up being a divorce. But the energy and what I foresaw, afterwards, after I got married, I'm thinking, when we're young, we think we can change people. For some odd reason, we think we can change people, and it doesn't happen that way. So women had to end up, most of the time, changing themselves, changing their friends, changing their ways of life, changing on how to become maybe a mom, doing all these extra things that we didn't even used to do before, washing laundry for 3-4 loads, whereas before when you were on your own label as yourself, you did 1 load yourself, for yourself, and went on. But as life goes on, you know, you go look back in the last 20 years, your identity has completely changed. Your looks has changed, your mannerism has changed, your behavior has changed. And so because of that, we sometimes get afraid to really look in the mirror and see ourselves. You know, this is one way I look at myself every single day, by doing these videos. You know, some days I don't even care, and I'm just, because I had a good thought of contents that I wanted to share, and I just go on because I am so comfortable in my own skin, which is the largest organ of the body, right? That acts like a third kidney. And so all of this reflection of ourselves is really internally, because the the X side, which means the outside of it, which is the public, sees you in a certain way. Some people may see you as a certain label, as, you know, because you've been married for a very long time. Like my mom, everybody still recognized her as who she was, or who she is. And so she already created that identity of who she is and how she's going to do. Always be the wife of my dad. And so, was she happy doing that? I'm sure my dad was a very difficult man, and I'm sure she had her ups and downs, but she went through it. And, you know, because a lot of people her age, they have gaman. They have endurance. They just, like my grandma, I don't know how she could take it, man. She was tough, you know, with all that kids and listening to my grandfather, you know. And so a lot of us, we don't really look at ourselves in the mirror because we lose that in our everyday life. Our identity, our looks, on how we see ourselves. And so, you know, because I was taught and really about self-awareness and recognition of who you are. Because once you get to know who you are, you can expand yourself to a different conscious of level. Because you are in control. It's not like you're going to go and get a divorce, or it's not saying that you're going to go out and forget about your kids or your family or this and that. You're going to really focus on you, and you have the driver's seat of really putting down of, because now you know, you have clarity what you want. And so we always had these tools. We just didn't know how to use it, right? We have the mirror every single day. We can look at ourselves. You know, I have lots of mirror here, there, everywhere, and each mirror looks different. But one mirror that always gives me the truth is in my yoga room, because that's where I know that I need to meditate and really only focus on thyself. Because if I don't do that and practice that, how am I going to improve myself? How am I going to see my weakest point? How am I going to go and live in a very optimal level of clarity, of understanding, and bringing happiness? And so really take the time to use this tool, and you're more than welcome to join in our courses and how to do it, and so you get a better understanding and how all of this works, because it's really about you. Self-realization and awareness about yourself. And so with that thought in mind, you have a wonderful day, and don't forget to be safe. Aloha.